Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers, a taxing day today, and he's got the rundown.
Taxes, taxes, taxes. That's what we're going to be talking about again today. One man has a plan. He wants a petition to repeal the taxes if they pass. We'll talk to Dan Burdish, Director of Citizens for Tax Restraint. And another group, the resident agents, think their fees are going up too high, and that will hurt the state of Nevada. Will it? We'll talk to Derek Rowley. Sam?
And on the pundit panel today, Mary Lau. We've also got Keith Lee, and on the barbed wire, it's Barbano. It's all coming up next on the all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
Today's lesson, another reason to take the Gold Rush Club Card Challenge. With the Gold Rush Card, you really have 3 cards in one. Use your cash back. You still keep your comps and drawing tickets. Use your comps. You still keep your cash and drawing tickets. And with your drawing tickets, you could win thousands in cold hard cash every week and still keep your cash back and comps. Does your club add up? Graduate to the Gold Rush Players Club. It's the smart thing to do. The Gold Dust West, south on Keystone, east on 4th.
Folks, you must see what's new in Virginia City. Ride the V&T train all the way to Gold Hill. Explore a mine, if you dare. Visit Piper's Opera House. Watch the gunslingers shoot it up on C Street. Shop in unique stores. Listen to honky tonk in the historic saloons. You can't see it all in one day, so spend the night. Virginia City, where the West comes alive. Come up and spend the night in our hotels, motels, and RV parks.
When he was just a young boy, Ken Dillon laid back, looked up at the stars, and thought to himself, hey, this house could use a roof. Today, Ken Dillon's D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal offers a complete line of Firestone roofing products for any type of roof, from commercial to industrial and residential. With a Firestone roof from D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal, what's overhead stays overhead. Call Ken Dillon's D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal today for a free estimate. Yes, the technology sure has changed, but after all these years, Ken still enjoys playing with houses.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years. Call 882-1700 to see what we can do for your organization.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad, political analyst Ande Engleman on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the News 4 Broadcast Center, here's Sam Shad.
Restraint is not a word that's used very often on this program, but today it will be. Dan Burdish is here. He is with the Nevadans for Tax Restraint. He is the Executive Director, and we welcome you, sir.
Good morning.
Thank you, Dan, for being with us.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Certainly. Let's explain briefly. The Nevadans for Tax Restraint is a group that is threatening to bring an initiative petition if they feel that too many high taxes are passed. Is that
Actually,
correct?
it would be a referendum, yes, but we would
referendum.
take it to a referendum.
Who is the group?
Essentially me. I started
You're
it up. There's probably about 50 or 60 of us down in Las Vegas that are working on this now. And that's all we're saying. If there is too much of a tax increase, is we want to take it to a referendum of the people.
And repeal the taxes that are passed. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, that's the only thing you could do with a referendum. We actually took about 7,000 signatures to the legislature today with one of the local radio stations in Las Vegas, asking them for any major tax increase before it's enacted to take to a vote of the people. So we did that this morning, and we're just hoping that that goes through.
Okay, do you think the governor's not living on the same planet? I mean, you know, he's saying that we have a shortfall right now going into the end of this year's budget session, that just to stay afloat, we need to increase taxes, and if we want to better the way of life for Nevadans through education, through social services, we need to actually increase the amount of taxes beyond that, which will just keep us afloat. Is he completely wrong about this?
I don't think he's completely wrong that we need some sort of a tax increase. I'm not one of these no new taxes whatsoever. We do need the Legislative Council Bureau has estimated it's going to take 11.3% more for the next 2 years than it did for the last 2 years. The Economic Forum has already indicated that it's going to be 9.9% or 9.09%, I believe, that revenue is going to be increased without doing a thing. So a minimum, we're going to need 2%. I have no problems with that. It's when we're talking about, I mean, the governor says it's 28%. I say it's 39%. Tax increases over the next 2 years. That, to me, is ludicrous.
Okay, on what do you base that?
He's basing it on what we spent. I'm basing it on the last 2 years, or the current fiscal biennium, we've raised $3.565 billion. That's what we've raised, but we're going to spend like $3.9 billion. He's basing his increase on the 3.9. I'm basing mine on the 3.565.
Lynn Hetrick introduced a new tax bill yesterday that basically just covers the shortfall, does not bring any money for expansion of education, health care, etc. Do you support that plan?
Well, I haven't looked at that line item by line item again, but as I understand, it's a $500 million tax increase. How that is not going to do any increases, I don't know. Because the governor's base, and I think this is where we're coming off, the governor's base budget, what he is saying it's going to take to run the state for the next 2 years without changing anything is 21% increase next year and a 5% increase a year after that. How can we be spending 21% more next year without any additional services than this year, keeping everything exactly the same?
Right,
something's wrong someplace.
Excuse me. You want the governor to cut. Where is it he should cut?
I'm not saying the governor should cut. I would like to see exactly what he's proposed. Why it costs more, 21% more next year than over this year. I mean, that's in statutes. And statutes require that the budget be presented with the same level of services based upon this current year on what it's going to be for the next 2 years. I don't think they've done that. I think that they have built in enhancements in the base of their budget.
Okay, when you looked at the governor's State of the State speech, which pretty much outlines what he considers to be his legacy, education, social services, bringing Nevada into a whole new tax structure as against relying on the same situation we have, which is now more and more becoming more and more unstable. Is he wrong in this? Do we need to be 51st in everything?
I don't know that we need to be 51st in everything, but if you look at from the fiscal year 2002 to fiscal year 2003, just general funds appropriation, the rest of the country, 40 of the other states, as I understand it, their income actually went down. Ours still went up. It only went up 1.75%, but our income went up, or the revenue to the state. That, to me, is not structurally unsound. Do we need to have additional revenues? I think so. And it's going to be the fight on where the additional revenues come in.
So are you for or against shifting the taxes more to the businesses and less for casinos and tourism?
It makes no difference to me. I mean, I don't care where they get it. One of my proposals is we pay right now anybody that collects sales tax. We pay that business to collect that sales tax. That, if you just got rid of that, it would be an additional $65 million over the next biennium.
Okay, and Mary Lau's going to have some comments on that.
Okay, we're going to take a break. We'll come back on Nevada Newsmakers. Thanks for being here, Dan. We appreciate it.
CTX can help you negotiate your best deal. We've been your home team advantage for over a decade. Call us today because at CTX, local service still matters.
Yeah, with CTX, you're homeward bound.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo Free Checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. 7 award-winning dining choices. Experience the Atlantis Seafood Steakhouse tonight. Winner of Wine Spectator's Award of Excellence. The local choice for food and fun, Atlantis.
Atlantic.
At Sushi Club, everybody's family. That's what makes dining here so much fun. The sushi is consistently better, the atmosphere is great, and the service is wonderful.
Welcome to the bigger and better Sushi Club. Come in for our delicious daily specials.
When you're talking sushi, you're talking Sushi Club in the Independence Square Shopping Center.
Walk into the Cactus Creek Bar and Grill at the Bonanza Casino, and you know you're in for a very special evening. Enjoy the southwestern atmosphere, some of the best gourmet food in Reno. It starts right here with Chef Bruce Norman and his talented staff. From buffalo T-bone to martini scampi and peppercorn duck. There's fine wine, specialty margaritas, and our pastry chefs create award-winning desserts. The Cactus Creek in the Bonanza Casino, 1 mile north of the university, where locals come to play.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
Do you know what a resident agent is and why we need them? We'll find out with Derek Rowley, who is the president of the Nevada Resident Agents Association. Welcome.
Derek, thank you for being with us. Basically, you have to have a resident agent to incorporate in this state, is that correct?
Well, the way the statutes in Nevada read, and for every other state for that matter, any entity that's filed that's not a person, like a partnership, a limited liability company, or a corporation, has to have a resident agent for the purpose of receiving legal service of process and notifications from government entities. So it's just a requirement.
So if you're mad at a corporation and it's an out-of-state corporation, you sue, you serve the papers on the resident agent. There has to be a person to receive your lawsuit.
Right, someone in the state who can receive that service of process.
Okay, how many different companies are represented in the state by resident agents?
All of them.
Which is
how many?
How many?
Are we talking dozens, hundreds, thousands?
There are, in good standing in Nevada right now, about 206,000 companies.
Wow. Okay, and residence agents represent all of those companies.
There's a resident agent listed for each one of those companies. That's
okay,
right.
Secretary of State's office looks like it's going to be raising a lot of fees. Are you unhappy or happy about that?
Well, it depends on which fee proposal we're talking about. The governor in his package had a 50% across-the-board fee increase, and that's something that we're very opposed to.
How much would one pay normally, currently?
Well, right now, the minimum incorporation fee in the state of Nevada runs $175. So if you increase that to 50% increase, you're looking at, what, $265, I think was the governor's proposal.
Right.
And what that does is that prices us out of the competitive market with the states that Nevada competes with, the Delawares, the Wyomings, the Floridas.
How much does it cost to incorporate in Delaware?
You know, the average of those states that I just named, and Colorado included in that, the average is $70 to incorporate. So you can see that a 50% increase takes us out of the market.
Okay, what benefits are there to incorporating in Nevada versus beyond the fee structure than that?
Well, you know, there's two primary benefits that Nevada offers. One is that Nevada has spent a lot of time and a lot of effort over the decades to develop corporate laws that are attractive to small business incorporation in terms of the liability protection that Nevada offers to the individuals who use businesses in Nevada. We've done a lot of work in that area. But the other thing, which is really the primary factor that attracts incorporation into the state, is the tax policy in the state. The fact that there aren't any state corporate taxes. That's the primary reason that we're importing 80% of those filings that we get in Nevada come from outside of the state for that reason.
Now, does the 4% gross receipts tax affect that?
The gross receipts tax would certainly affect that because we're talking about a significant part of that 206,000 where it's only a corporate filing and maybe a bank account. And so they're only a corporate filing away from moving out of Nevada to another jurisdiction where they can get the benefits that they just lost when Nevada passes a gross receipts tax.
All right, now how much money does this whole operation bring into the general fund? How does this help the state of Nevada?
Well, right now, the general fund impact is about $100 million per biennium. But there are other impacts on top of that because we, as an industry, really are the marketing arm for the Secretary of State's office. So we spend millions of dollars promoting and marketing new business filings in the state. The customers that we bring into the state deposit millions upon millions of dollars in Nevada banks. The companies that we bring to the state, every one of us as resident agent has experience several times a year with companies that we originally did a corporate filing for who end up moving their plant and their facilities for economic development purposes.
Okay, Derek, so bottom line is that it's not so much the fee because nobody's not going to take advantage of all the benefits of the state for $75 or somewhere in that region, or $100 on a filing fee. But it's the gross receipts tax that you seem to probably have more of a problem with.
Well, as we've told the legislature, if they impose the gross receipts tax, it doesn't really matter where they put the fees. The fees are an issue that we have concern with, because we are, like I said, in a very competitive environment with the Wyomings, that don't have any state corporate taxes also. So we've got to stay positioned there, but the gross receipts tax would wipe out our industry. And that's where our story is different from a lot of the business groups. We tell the legislature that if the gross receipts tax is passed, our industry goes away, because the people who are coming to Nevada for the benefits that they have now are going to go elsewhere.
But how many people work in the resident agents' businesses?
There's over 1,000 employees working within the industry.
Okay, Derek, we're out of time. We appreciate you being here. Thanks for your point of view.
Thank you.
And we'll be back on Nevada Newsmakers with the Pundits. There'll be some heat going there right after this timeout.
Enjoy news and a hot brew at Tamarack Junction. Stop in on your way to or from work, follow the market on one of our 32 TVs, and enjoy some fresh brewed coffee and a hot meal. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
When he was just a young boy, Ken Dillon laid back, looked up at the stars, and thought to himself, hey, this house could use a roof. Today, Ken Dillon's D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal offers a complete line of elk roofing products for any type of residential roof. With an elk roof from D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal, what's overhead stays overhead. Call Ken Dillon's D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal today for a free estimate. Yes, the technology sure has changed, but after all these years, Ken still enjoys playing with houses.
We've loosened our machines. We've given you the Gold Dust West Gold Rush Club, Reno's best slot club. You can win lots of jackpots. Play longer. Your points will add up faster than you think. Yeah, we're loose and we're not screwing around. See you at the Gold Dust West, south on Keystone, east on 4th.
Folks, you must see what's new in Virginia City. Ride the V&T train all the way to Gold Hill. Explore a mine, if you dare. Visit Piper's Opera House. Watch the gunslingers shoot it up on C Street. Shop in unique stores. Listen to honky tonk in the historic saloons. You can't see it all in one day, so spend the night. Virginia City, where the West comes alive. Come up and spend the night in our hotels, motels, and RV park.
Treat yourself to a late-night pick-me-up with Hobo Bob's Happy Hour at Tamarack Junction. Enjoy a delicious selection of food and drink specials every day from midnight to 3 a.m. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
And time for the pundit panel, a good one as always. And we're joined by Ande Barbano with the Daily Sparks Tribune, Mary Lau, who represents the Nevada Retail Association, who are one of the sponsors of this program, and Keith Lee, who is an attorney and a lobbyist, and we don't hold that against you.
Thank you, Sam.
Let's start out with you, Ande.
There is a bill that's come out in the legislature that allows retailers to hold kids who have gone in and illegally tried to buy cigarettes. It's against the law for children. No, it's not against the law for children to smoke. It's against the law for retailers to sell them cigarettes.
Exactly.
It's not against the law for parents to give their children cigarettes. Mary, is this your bill?
No, it's absolutely not our bill.
Oh, sure it is. You're just trying to deflect everything
That's
away
it,
from
deflect
the
everything.
issues.
I think it's Andy's bill. That's it. It's a tax bill.
I blame everything on Governor Gwynn, so now we know.
There we go. Yeah. No, it is not our bill, and we would not want retailers, nor do we want our clerks trying to hold children for buying cigarettes. Pretty soon it's going to be buying hamburgers they're going to get held for.
Of that.
From
I mean,
a standpoint, Sam, I mean, there's a lot of lawsuits out there for lawyers.
It's just waiting to happen.
False imprisonment, false arrest. My goodness.
Does that mean you're lobbying this bill?
I think it's a great idea because many parents use retail stores and shopping centers as babysitters anyway. This simply gives the babysitters more authority. And besides, we're getting to live in a police state anyway. Look at my duct tape peace ribbon. So it's just kind of going with the flow of the times.
All right, let's move on. Lynn Hetrick's issued a new tax bill here. What do we think about this?
Well, I'll jump right in there, Sam. I'm not. It's interesting. He is. If I understand what the minority leader, I will tell you at the press conference there were a number of supporters from his own house and his own party, and a number of supporters from the Senate as well that were presumably supporters.
About
They
a
were there
third,
supporting. Right? I'm not quite sure it was that much, but there was a large number there.
And
but,
other party too.
And the other party, absolutely, yeah. I mean, it was R's and D's there. And I've not digested the whole thing, nor I think has anyone had an opportunity to do so. But looking at it, I think it's kind of interesting. At least the way it was played in the paper here in Reno today, there wasn't even a mention of the fact that what I think is one of the key components of this, and that's increasing the real property transfer tax in all the other counties to match that which is in Clark County.
Meaning that if you're buying or selling a
If
house.
you're buying or selling your house, you pay $2.50, I believe, is the amount they pay in Las Vegas for every $1,000 of the sale price. So if that's the case, and that wasn't even mentioned in today's newspaper here in Reno that I saw, I mean, that's an interesting aspect. Now, there's a couple other pieces of legislation that are being heard this week about increasing the real property transfer tax, and I can tell you that's a fall in the sword issue for the realtors.
But doesn't that then address the growth issue? I mean, if you want growth to pay for itself.
Well, that was Lynn's statement, that the real property transfer tax addresses growth specifically.
One of the benefits of this is that the governor, as recently as last night on channels 5 and 10 around the state, and on this program, kept reiterating nobody else has come forward with a plan. He put a plan forward, and that's all he has to do, so he walks away. That's the benefit of having a passive personality. With Lynn Hendrick's plan on the table now, this is about the fourth plan that's come forward.
There's all kinds of
there's Senator Joe Neal's tax increase. There's the Ande and CARE bill. There's the Las Vegas Chamber of Commerce Retail Association sales tax on services. There's this plethora of plans out there, and I want to know when Governor Dudley Do Right's going to finally recognize that.
Let me say, Andy, that I've been on the receiving end of the governor's wrath occasionally, and there's nothing passive about it.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's true.
You know, I think also, and I watched a portion of that show last night as well, is that the governor is at this point saying, okay, let's get all these other plans out there, legislature, now you work on them, and let's come back and have a meeting of the minds. He's obviously not locked solid on where he originally placed himself, but at this point, he wants the legislature to kind of fight it out. But
he's
he did
put
say
himself in that position of saying, I'm locked solid on it. Now he's
but
waiting for everything to get together.
he said yesterday that he's willing to negotiate.
Well, if he finally said it publicly, then I think that's great, because they should work together.
He said on this show, and I will repeat it today so nobody forgets it, is that he wants to have a town meeting on this program. We have offered to give him 2.5 hours to have all the majority and minority leadership on the program, along with the governor, and let's have the discussion here at the table.
Are we
and
going to
get
have
it
representatives to discuss it afterwards?
Absolutely.
Can we be the pundits for that one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Last night, he said he's doing exactly that kind of a meeting right now, today, in Carson City with the leadership of the legislature. So he already said he's doing that. So
they're trying to force
he said on this program.
He said he'd do it on the show.
He
Yeah, I
said he
know.
would come on the show and
Yeah.
do it. We are waiting to hear back on a day. We've asked them to select a
But
day.
let's keep this in mind, too. I think an important aspect that we have to keep in mind when we're talking about taxes is we've got to start closing some budgets. And part of this whole tax package at the end of the day is going to be, what are our budgets going to look like? Earlier, you had a discussion with Dan Burdish about, where are our demands going to be? As the governor,
well, are they going to include some of Lynn's cuts?
Some of Lynn's cuts, some of the governor's enhancements.
Keith, I'm sorry, you're proceeding upon a false assumption that Nevada can ever get its priorities straight. I'm sorry.
But what about the governor's point last night, which is that Hedrick's bill does not include the increases that the governor's asked for in education, doesn't include the increases for health care?
It fully funds K through 12. It funds the teacher's salary increase. There are enhancements that were in there. It diverts some of the money from higher ed to K through 12, because if we don't have an educated K through 12, forget college, they won't go there. So it does put money where money's needed.
As I understand, Lynn's proposal takes approximately $65 million from higher ed. But as Mary says, it reroutes it down back to K through 12.
John Cummings is not going to love me
but
anymore.
let me raise the issue, though. When we want businesses to come to Nevada, diversify the economy, it's happened quite successfully here in northern Nevada, needs to happen more so in southern Nevada. Number one question big companies say is, what kind of university system do you have for our employees to send their kids to, for us to train our workers in?
And our principal industry couldn't care less about education, as is evidenced by the last 30 or 40 years of how they've treated the state.
And at the risk of being excoriated by Andy again as being, someone who's not realistic here, there's a policy debate that has to go forward that I haven't heard yet about those very priorities you're talking about, Sam. K through 12 is very important. There's no question about it. But I mean, higher education is as equally important to the economy of our state if you just want to restrict it to that. But it's even more important when you look at, you know, the direction where we want to go in the state in the next 20 years.
Well, tax stability is extremely important for economic development.
Well,
too.
and I asked Harvey Whittemore the other day, you know, was the gross receipts tax on life support, and he definitely said not at all. Are we not going to see this major shift in the way that the state is taxed?
Nothing is going to be certain until sine die and the governor signs the bill.
Not even then. I'm predicting several special sessions, and the only thing that will happen is complete governmental meltdown and chaos and anarchy, and that's the only way change will be.
I hope you are so wrong.
I do too, Andy.
I hope you are so wrong.
I do too.
Very briefly.
Very briefly. Tonight, 6:30 p.m., if you're on Reno Sparks Cable Channel 13, the first televised meeting of the City of Reno's new Cable Advisory Board, live TV. I'm the chairman. Bring an anemometer to measure the degree of animosity.
It will be live.
We'll be back.
Channel 13, Reno City Hall, 6:30 tonight.
Okay, we'll be back. Enough. Otherwise, you're paying for a commercial. We'll be right back.
If you're talking sushi, you're talking Sushi Club. Year after year, voted the best place for sushi. 11 chefs on staff to serve you. Better ingredients for consistent high quality. And lots of room, so bring your friends. Sushi Club in the Independent Square Shopping Center.
Feel it, the magic is everywhere. The action, the style, the food, the flair. Play with us, stay with us in Reno, say El Dorado, and live the excitement. El Dorado, Reno shining star. Live the excitement.
CTX can help you negotiate your best deal. We've been your home team advantage for over a decade. Call us today because at CTX, local service still matters.
Yeah, with CTX, you're homeward bound.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo free checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. Toucan Charlie's Buffet and Grill, consistently voted Reno's best buffet by locals. Experience the Mongolian barbecue, new Asian station, and sumptuous exhibition stations filled with fresh entrees, salads, and desserts. Try the Friday night seafood buffet and Sunday champagne brunch.
Atlantis.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
Monday, Carol Villardo explains all these taxes to us and what affects your pocketbook. See you then.
See you then.